All right, folks, welcome to a market recap. Today we were looking for shorts. The short boom did happen, but it failed. You can see right over here. Today, it was a pretty good, obvious OTE short. We had right here the before. I give to the Discord, so if you're in Discord, you would have gotten this. Right over here is the hourly time frame, and this is the aftermath of the hourly time frame, which it delivered, right? Then eventually fully reversed. I was looking for a short. Did I execute it straight? No, because it didn't follow my trading guideline rules. This one, because it didn't follow the trading guideline rules, it failed. But this one right over here, it worked out in our favor. And although the yesterday one, yesterday one purged out the legit low, cool. That's the one positive. As well as, although it probably didn't give the right time of the amount one confirmation, it's still valid. How? Because the next session is New York, right? If it gives that one confirmation around 11 a.m., then we're not gonna trade it because that is when there's that. After that, there's no more session. It's just a PM session which trades. It's crazy ass guys over here, man. But this is valid. This yesterday trade was valid, which worked out right over here in our favor. You can see now going for a 5 RR, it worked out in our favor. And make sure no break evens unless it's Friday and it's 4:30 p.m. Today is Wednesday, so we do not break even at all. Market came back down at our entry and eventually delivered to our take profit here, right? So 5 hour delivered. So how it was as yesterday trade valid because it purged out a legit low, although it didn't give us the right time of the amount one confirmation. But the next session was New York, so it was still valid. And keep in mind, the next thing was that if the confirmation of the one happens around right at 11 a.m., we can't take it because around there is when the session for the whole day ends. So there's no longer there's no New York session, there is no London session right afterward, right? So there's going to be PM session and edge session, which we don't trade at all, right? We trade primarily London and New York. I don't trade London, but I do use London a lot. I use London to validate most of my biases, most of my trades. So the yesterday trade worked out, and we could have executed that trade, but as I said, experience. And from now on forward, if I see that happening again, I will execute it. But at the moment, that setup right now at the moment is miss a trade now, right? So we're gonna join that trade regardless because that trade did follow trading guidelines rules. That trade was valid to take, but as I said, experience and the lesson. The lesson is that during that time I didn't have the right time the market confirmation, so I didn't take it. But looking back to it right now, we're still valid to take that trade. Why? Because the next session is New York, so we're still valid to take this trade, even though it didn't give us the model confirmation during that lesson time. It gave us during the New York time, which is still valid because London, New York, which are the session we trade. Now today, we did have a shorting opportunity. It delivered beautifully, but it overall failed. And today, if I were to execute this trade, I would have looking to short it all the way down to the weekly CFT low, which I didn't take a trade. Why? At the CFT high of the 5 a.m. candle high, there was no valid high. It was just a bullish candle. Even at the 4 a.m. high, there was no legit high. It was just a bullish candle without having that bullish bearish candle, without having that valid high formation. So I did not take it. So I was looking for this high to get purged, whereas it was as well an OTE. I was looking for it to get purged, form a legit high, then repurchase the valid high, which you did right over here. Then look for the right bottom one confirmation. They look for resistance block entry or look for a total soup straight to the downside. But wondering what happened right over here. Why did I take the trade? First reason is that although I would have taken a trade to the downside because we could trade double purchase, right? It could soup out the support the high and the low, then have SMT with the high in the lower time frame. Usually with the double purchase, it will give you one side will have a SMT, right? If you go back into time, into what I'm trying to show you guys here. This day was a perfect example of that. Which day? Where was it? Right over here. Perfect example of it. For example, a failure swing. Right, this is a failure swing slash a double purge. Right, the range high got respected, the range low got respected. Market came back down over the range low, tapped the rejection block, leaving a SMT that eventually going away. Right, so push out the high, push out the low, push out the high, came all the way back down. Had SMT, then went up higher. How would have entered the SMT? By entering resistance block right over here. There was a 5-minute resistance block on that specific day. Right, the same example we're using over and over, which is very nice. Right, those examples play crucial roles, crucial part. Now, going down to the hourly time frame. Once again, the 5 units are CRT. We're looking for that high to get purged, but now since we're looking for a double purge here, I was like, yeah, this could be a double purge, but I'm not gonna take it at all, simply because of the looking back into this, right? Simply because of what? Now, although we can't take double purges, but what we were looking for at first, we're looking for this high to get repurged, and for double purges, one side must have SMT. So right when this high gets purged, we're not looking for no trade. We're not gonna be looking to short this down because this was supposed to be our initial move. This is supposed to be our initial move. So this move right over here is going to be high likelihood of manipulation here, right? So that's that. And the whole reason why they didn't execute this trade, once again, although we're looking for double purges, but this high didn't handle legit high, so we're looking for the high to get purged. And then we're looking for a repurge of a legit high, which is right over here. And eventually for a double purge, this high cannot get purged, and eventually we would enter on the resistance block to short it down. But since the market, when he purged it out first, then he had a legit high, and this was a legit high, we're looking for this high to get purged, then the double purge setup is no longer there. So there's a very lesson of the day. The lesson of the day is very simple. Lesson number one is, if the modern market confirmation doesn't happen in London, we're still valid to take a trade, because the next session is what? New York. Next lesson of today is that for double purges, he must give us the right modern confirmation, which he did today, but it did not purge out the legit high. So we're looking for this high to be purged. So this high is right here is gonna get repurged. So that means it's gonna invalidate our double purges setups, right? So for double purges, we're looking for one side. We're looking for both sides to get purged, but after that, we're looking for one side of the range to have SMT. Which for the SMT, we're gonna enter the resistance block. The resistance block leaves equal highs, equal lows. SMTs leaves equal highs, equal lows. But the best way to do this is gonna be through that resistance block, right? Because if you were in for SMT, where are you gonna enter? You're gonna need to enter on the resistance block, right, to get that good RR. So the lesson one more time is, the whole reason why they entered this trade was because this high didn't have a high, so we're looking for how to get purged. We're looking for a re-high we're looking for a valid high to get formed, and we're looking for that valid high to get purged again, then short it down. Which, if you pay attention, it never got purged. So in here, it's like I'll take profit. Now we're looking for double purges, but for the double purges, after you purge out this high, before you purge out this high, it must purge out the legit high. And if he doesn't purge out the legit high, purge out the high, then form a legit high, then purge out the legit high, then give us the right amount of one. And so this one didn't meet the criteria. He didn't purge the legit high, and eventually just push down to take profit, so we cannot take the trade. So this is the lesson of the day. Thank you for watching. If you guys like, comment, share. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and join us down below. And I'll see you guys later. Very lessonable day. And the 5-hour trade right over here, it worked out in our favor. So if we see it happen again one more time, we will be executing it. All this happened in the London session, but it's one of our setups we can take, because we trade primarily London and New York. And the only time usually when I execute my London session trades, I usually wait till New York to execute those London session trades. Why? Because now all the manipulation already happened, so we could trade that London session move if it taps there or not. Right. So this is my Market recap. Although I did say before that if the London move is correct, then New York should give us another setup with the London move, right, to confirm it even more further. In this case, it did. The yesterday trade, it did give us that confirmation because what we had here? We had a OTE, right? Low, high, lower low, higher high. So the New York session did confirm the London session move, although there was no CRT to take a trade out of it, but it did confirm it because of the OTE, deep retracement, that eventually rip off another deep retracement, that eventually rip off even further. So the London session did get confirmed by New York to be true, right? To be a true and right, to be true and right trade, right? To be, for the setup to be valid, right? Because usually if the London session offers a setup, New York should support it, meaning it should give another setup, either a lower time frame or a continuation of it, or a deep retracement of it, like an OTE trade out of it. In this case, OTE did give us OTE, although there was no CRT for a take out of it, but we were in the London session type London session move. We were inside the position block of the London session, so we could have executed on the London session position block, long it up, and hitting our 5R today. So this is my market recap. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, or share. Join us down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.